All right, it's been a hot minute since I've been behind the mic. Just took a little hiatus, but I'm back, and hopefully I'll stay consistent. I'm not gonna make any promises. Okay, I'm gonna be good. Gonna be good. First thing I want to address, two things. One is if you're watching this visually, I am naked. I have shaved my beard, and I'm feeling very exposed. So doing it for a good cause, doing it for Movember, men's mental health. So if you're watching this or listening to it, I'll drop a link in bio and you can donate and we can support a good cause. The second one is what I want to do with the pod. It was very strictly athletes in business. I want to expand that to more health, mindset, habits, still business, still athletes, but not a direct crossover. And I'm just going to have a bit more fun, get some more guests on and see where we go. On that note, today's guest, we have Dan Wilmot. He's very excited to be here. He says he's got a bit of imposter syndrome being on the pod.
Yeah, I'm pumped.
So I know you obviously were friends beforehand, just through uni boys and connections, and then I've started working here at Social Lab, and you're one of the directors, one of the founders. So it's a pleasure to have you on.
Thanks, mate. Thanks for bringing me into your studio. Great setup you've got here. Love what you've done with the place.
It is. I've heard it is the #1 studio on the Gold Coast. I don't know. Obviously, that's official rankings, but real big vibes.
It does get thrown around a fair bit from the owner, I think. I don't know if anyone knows her, but I think she thinks she's top 2, maybe. Top 2 potties.
Top 2 or not 2.
On the Gold Coast. Oh.
Let's move forward. Let's get into it. So we have good discussions, I think. Just we like the internet marketing and business type things. We have good discussions, which is one of the reasons I thought it'd be cool to come on and chat. Let's go back into early business days before Social Lab. I know me personally, I still probably do, but just love a good little startup business, the old drop shipping, Alibaba Express.
Did you ever do any of that?
Yeah, my first one was mugs.
Coffee mugs.
Yeah, copyrighted mugs.
With a print on it?
Yeah. No, that was just totally illegal. It was like Disney mugs and Game of Thrones mugs. It was the first one I ever did. Watch some course. It was like, I think the example was mugs.
Yeah.
For the video or the course that I watched.
Right.
So I was like, I have to do that. So I did that. I would have been like 17, I reckon, just straight out of school, first year out of school. Yeah, try and do that. But that was the first one. What about you? What was yours like?
It was a t-shirt business. It was just the shittest, like the standard, just get a t-shirt and print something on it. It's going to be called, here we go, King Supply Co. Ooh. And it was a crown, which is so cringe. I think I still have the file. Yeah, on a hard drive I still have.
Print any?
I still have, God no. But we spent I reckon we spent a good 7 day, not 7 days in a row, but the time, full days. I remember going to his place in Southport and we sat there for a day, mapping it out, how we'd do it, how we'd sell it. We never sold any at all. But other than that, I don't think I ever tried to start an actual business.
You said you're 11. It gave me a memory. I did sell something before. I tried dropshipping.
Oh.
I was the power bank guy.
Oh, yuck. Slimy as.
I remember, just buying them on the internet. I remember one time we were in school sport and we're at Marymount and literally had one of them. I think it was Tally, and he was doing a demonstration. So he's like, look how far I can stretch my legs, touch my toes. Couldn't touch him. Chucks on the power band, just ultimate flexibility. All the kids at Marymount are just like, I'll buy one. I've got some in my bag. And I just had 10 of them, just selling them at different schools.
What did you buy them for? From China or whatever?
Nah, they're legit.
Oh, that was that funny. You did a big balancing test?
The big test, yeah. I don't know. I just bought them off eBay. And I think probably, it's a pretty good margin. I think it would have been $12, $20, and then sold them for 50. I remember one time.
$50?
Yeah, that was going right.
That was big money in high school.
Yeah, 100%. One time I was at my grandparents' place and one of her friends were there and they worked in a physio and I didn't know they didn't work. For me, they were working. So I'm I had confidence in selling them.
Yeah.
And she was, grandma's friend was there and she works somewhere and she's like, my clients would love these if you can get some.
Oh my God.
Walked into the computer room, get on eBay, come back out. Yeah, I'll sell you $1,000 worth and you can have, I don't know, X amount.
Whatever they were.
Boom. That was my first time of making cash. I remember I made $1,000 and I was like,
Oh my
What
God.
is this money? Like, this is too
Off
easy.
power bands.
Off power bands. When bought an iPod Touch. Oh, that was that good.
You proper scammed this poor lady for
I thought they were
$1,000 so
legit.
you could
Like,
buy an iPod Touch.
my flexibility was increasing. I was just going up. It wasn't. It wasn't me.
Where's the ethics, man?
Remember, like Benji Marshall was wearing them.
They all
like,
were.
all the players were wearing them.
Yeah, fuck.
That's crazy. So Social Lab, what'd you do at uni? What was your major?
So then, out of high school, Blake and myself both did the exact same degree, the exact same classes, which is fucking just so us, I guess. I did marketing, so double degree marketing and finance. Yeah, I was business and commerce. So business and commerce, and then from that was marketing and finance. So I did that for 4 years, which is kind of where maybe the first 1 or 2 years was, I'm not sure when it started. It was 2017, but I'm not sure when I finished. Maybe finished in 2015. So in 2017, maybe like halfway through uni, I'd say.
Started Social Lab.
Yeah. So I had those, we were there for 4 or 5 years. I don't know, 5 years maybe. First 2 years was just like standard, stay at home, play Fortnite. That's when Fortnite dropped, and that was cranking. Play video games a lot and just like bare minimum go to the classes. And then, halfway through, I think is when we come up with Social Lab.
Just you and Blake. How'd the idea start?
The idea started, my friend Casey, still operating down there in Benora Point, Casey Pereira. I seen he just got into real estate, and back then there was just the slideshows so the old photographers, the old photographers would just take the stock standard photos, and then they'd put them in who knows what program back then, Movie Maker or PowerPoint, and they just put like this slow like elevator music song and just let the photos like cut through like a slideshow. And I remember watching one day, and I was like, this is so bad and boring. Like, surely I reckon I could make this better. And I had a camera, but I wasn't into photography. I was doing the stuff where like you take in your front yard and you take photos of like flowers and like close up photos of like grass and shit. So I wasn't into video or anything. So I think actually before that, he had like a PT business and he wanted to like start growing that. So I think I remember there was probably like 2 or 3 sessions where I'd do the session, or I'd go down and just film the session of that video wise, and I'd try and cook up and edit. It was so bad. They're still online, unfortunately. But from that, then he went into real estate after he did his PT to real estate transition, which some people do. And I seen that happen, those crap videos, and I was like, fuck, we've done videos before. I reckon I could have a crack at doing better. Like, I feel like I can actually film the house rather than photos, put music behind it, you can be on it, and it's going to be better than that. So that was the first video we ever did. It wasn't called Social Lab then, but it was just that one video we did, and it was better. It wasn't good at all. I think Em found it the other day.
Is it the one we're watching at the retreat?
It's so bad. Yeah, probably. It's terrible. But anyway, that was what kind of started it all, because it was better than anything, like 10 times better than anything.
Was there anything else going on? Was there literally only PowerPoints? No one else was doing videos of the kind? Was it
nothing that I've seen? Not down here. Like, even that market down there, Tweed and Benora, is still like behind in terms of the marketing side of real estate anyway. So back then, I'm not sure what was going on Gold Coast or Brisbane or Sydney. There's probably someone doing a video. There's videos like of the big dog agents in Sydney doing videos like 10, 15 years ago. So, but in that, no one had, like, I'm not going to say I fucking started it, but like I was looking and I couldn't find any. Casey was like, yeah, there's no one else really doing this at all. And then I think there was that point where like, why don't we just do this? Like, every time you get a listing, like, let's just do that. And then from that, because you work in an office, he was just like a young, like, first year in real estate agent. Then he had his bosses who ran it. Ross, I seen him the other day actually. Ross and I think his name is Christian. They seen Casey's videos and they were like, that's kind of cool. Like, do you want to do one for me? And it's like, yep. And then it started snowballing to the point where I think it was like, we've probably done 4 or 5 shit videos. I'm like, fuck, we could actually probably just do this. Like, we probably need a better camera, and like that's when the first drone come out.
What was Blake's role? So while you're doing this,
Blake, I think I just needed, like, you just need that extra person. And so I, like, what you do, it's kind of half inspiring because I've always had Blake to be like, and it's what at the networking dinners you had. I always had someone I could bounce something off. So if I had that idea of let's do videos for real estate agents, I could talk to Blake and be like, what do you reckon? Like, do you reckon we should do this? And he'll be like, no, that's shit. Or yeah, that's a good idea. So it kind of gives you the reassurance. So I think I probably mentioned it to him, like, why don't we do these real estate videos? Like, there's no one else doing anything creative in terms of just videos at this point, nothing else, just real estate video. I think it'd be a good idea. Do you want to do it? I'm like, yeah. We toss and turned on it for a little bit. And I think we messaged Casey one day and he's like, what's the worst that could kind of happen? Like, kind of push us a little bit, which is good. So I think, yeah, so we bought the first camera, which is still sitting on the shelf out there, and the first drone. The last year or two of uni, it was kind of like, we're not really going to do a grad job. I was still working at Woolies. And it's kind of like, we're going to have to do this social lab business. Or like, I'm going to finish uni in a year or two. And I haven't really gone down
Manager at Woolies.
Oh, fuck. Yeah, that's probably the biggest reason is working at a place like that where it's just fucking brutal. Like, it's not fun at all. You're just like a robot. So it's like, I don't really want to work. And you have the manager, the old manager that's like 60, 55. That I had a really good manager actually, but they're 55. Like, they don't. It's like, fuck, don't tell me what to do. Like, I'm doing triple your work. You can't even lift the box up. Like,
is that where you got your work ethic now? Like here, you just sort of tell everyone and have like less workload than everyone else.
Can't pick up a box or a camera. That was rude. Nah, but that is when it was kind of like, okay, I'm not going to go down the traditional get an intern job, graduate role. Doing these regular videos. At that point, it was probably maybe like 1 or 2 a week. Plus, we filmed this like weekly wrap thing on a Friday with this new agency. So every Friday, they would do like a sales report of what they did that week. And they do a property management report. So we had that like retainer. It was a shit retainer.
I was going to say, what was
like,
it?
Probably like $100 or $200
like
a week.
weekly sort of P&L, I guess, for you guys, and this still early. Like
weekly would be like $600. So not a lot.
The big bucks.
No, the big bucks. But it was cool because we were doing the work and you're getting paid for it. So probably doing 1 or 2 videos a week and this like weekly wrap is what they called it, which was cool. The hardest thing was, this is the shit you have to go through. So they'd do their open homes on a Saturday and they were like, sweet, we want to do our weekly wrap on Saturday. So after our open homes.
You're filming?
Yeah. So we were doing these weekly wraps and the property management people would do Friday morning because they want to do like Friday morning coffee. We'll do our report for the week. And then the sales guy was like, after my open homes on Saturday, meet me at my open home and I'll give you a wrap up of the week plus the open homes we just had. So me and Blake would both work Saturdays at Woolies or Coles. So we'd work to like 2 or 3 and then I'd leave from Woolworths and drive to this guy's beck and call, drive to wherever his open home was and have to film him do this report thing, which was annoying because he was crap communicator. So I'd have to call and text like relentlessly throughout the day to be like, where are we doing the wrap up? Like, what's the address? Where are you going to be? Type of thing. So from that, it was kind of like, not going to do the uni thing. We may as well just start ripping in with this.
Finish uni. How many clients were you sort of at? What was sort of revenue after uni?
Oh, not a lot. So that was when it was kind of like, fuck, we're going to have to do Woolies and Coles part-time or like with Social Lab on the side. So I can't remember when we went full-time with Social Lab, but I think we'd probably be making like 1,500 or $2,000 maybe a month, which is not a lot. Maybe not a month. But at one point it was when we left Woolies and Coles, we were both paying ourselves $300 a week. That was it. So that was when we were kind of like, did that moment where you rip the Band-Aid off where it's like, we're going to drop Woolies and Coles. We're just going to cop it. But putting 100% of our time into this business is the only way that we're going to get out of the other one.
What year did Elijah come in? He was sort of year 3.
Fuck, yeah, we're all over the shop.
No, I was going to go there, and then I'm going to go from before Elijah came in. What was sort of the key skills you learned before he came in? So it's just you two.
Yeah.
You're starting it up. There's not really much there. From there to when Elijah came in, what were the key skills that you guys were trying to learn? And you've sort of, I guess, roadblocks, any red lights, you sort of managed to turn it around.
I'll wrap it up for you quick.
Yeah.
So there's 3 periods. There's pre-Elijah coming on, and then there's the 1 or 2 years when Elijah first come on, and then there's like the post period. I thought about this. It's pretty good.
Yeah.
So the pre-period where it's just me and Blake, we were just doing real estate videos. So that was me film the inside and outside, Blake do the drone, and we were like, this is our thing. Let's fucking just go for it. Let's pump it. So things we were doing, lots of emails, like cold email. We used to do 10 DMs each. So every day I'd send 10, Blake would have to send 10.
Instagram DMs?
Yeah, Instagram DMs.
What was the criteria? Any real estate agents?
Yeah. Just literally, if you've seen a new one on Instagram, like if you've seen a profile you hadn't messaged, like you hit the message button and it'll open the chat. If there wasn't someone message, you'd send them a message.
Did you get it? You dialed in on your messaging? Like, do you find a good copy was working?
At that point, we're not changing the copy. We're literally just,
hey mate.
Yeah,
what's up?
literally keep it chill. I read somewhere that if you send things in like separate lines, it's more conversational. So rather than send a block, this is the length of our strategy. Rather than send a block, I'd say, hey mate, send. Like, been following you for a while. Didn't even follow him probably. Been seeing your stuff, been following you for a while.
Yeah.
We do real estate videos. Here's a link to one of ones we've done.
Cool.
If you want to do one.
So that was proof,
yeah, it was just do that and try and grow as much as we could, which was good. And we got to a point where we'll skip a lot of just that grind, because that's all it was. It was pretty much grinding for probably a year or two, 2017 to 2020, right before COVID. When's COVID?
Yeah, 2019 is COVID-19.
Yeah. So that must have been like a good year or two of that. But that was the point where I think we learned off someone. So there's a whole nother little path we won't go down, but we kind of got white labeled by this other company to do it, which had some cool people. We still work with them now, like do shoots for them and stuff. But one thing that they taught us was, because when we first started, we were doing the thing where you do we do websites, we do like social media, you want to be that all-in-one solution. And one thing they told us was like, you need to just do one thing, which is the classic advice these days if you watch any type of online learning. But it's like, you got to pick one thing, just be the video guys. Or it wasn't, either pick the skill, so just be the video guys, be real estate video and be the best real estate video, or just pick the niche, like just do real estate. So it's either like just do video, just do real estate. So we're like, fuck, we'll just do real estate video. We're just all in on this one little subcategory. So we started smoking that, and that really helped, which got us to the point where we get our first office in Miami. There's a lot in that growth from 0 to get your first office in Miami, but a lot of it's just hard work. It's like making sure that your product or your business is good. So rather than just like trying to grind out DMs and outreach with a shit product, you have to have the product that backs it up, which helped, because at the time ours was like good, obviously enough to grow. So people would see our videos and be like, that's really good. Like, we'll use you. So it starts to snowball when you are doing the outreach and your product's actually good. You just got to grind it out. We ground it out. There's probably better ways, but the only way we did it was work hard.
Yeah, so what you're saying is pretty much 0 to office.
Key takeaway.
0 to office, just work hard, just consistency. So it would have been, fair few years of just that consistency, what you're doing 6-7 days. 5 days.
So we're still doing those shitty raps on Saturday. So it was Monday to Saturday.
Yeah.
Like within there's like you're young, you're partying or whatever.
Yeah.
We're not
got more time.
We're not locked in from like we are now from 8 till 4 every day.
Yeah.
But majority of it is like we didn't have anything else. It was like, wake up. If I feel motivated, I'm going to work on making content for Social Lab, like fucking send my tripod up, filming me, edit a video, like speed it up.
Yep.
Like stuff like that. I was like, I'm motivated today. I'm going to do this. I'm going to try and do the website again. I'll do this. I'll do other stuff. So do that for 6 days and cruise.
Hard work.
Sorry.
Second one is just making good products. Obviously, you'd said you're doing a bit of outreach, but then gets to a sort of point where you can reach so many people. If your product's shit, then no one's going to buy it. So it's just like, okay, we're doing the hard work. We've got a good product. That was probably the two key in that period.
In that period, yeah, like you said, if you can't peddle a product that's shit because, well, that's what people find. And when they say, oh, it's not working, it's like, it's not working because what you're trying to shove down, because that's what you're doing. You're basically forcing yourself in the door. Like, you can't just force shit in someone's door. Like, you have to have something valuable. So, yeah, the hard work, just get up and just work. Like, that's all me and Blake have ever really done. We just get up and get stuck in till it's done. And then, yeah, have a good product or a good enough product that has value attached that the people respect that that's what you're doing. And then pretty much there's probably other stuff in there that's probably more niche detail, but they're the two main ones. We just did the work.
Yeah.
And relationships. So one thing we always said, even at our cultural stuff that we do at Social Lab, it's that like you want to be a friend first. So all these people that we were going to, because we weren't business minded, when we were rocking up to the shoots, we're just talking to them as a friend or ask them how their week was, because we weren't in real estate. We were just doing this video thing. So it's kind of more just like, oh, how was your week? And it'd give them the time to vent, really. Like, they'd just fucking spill out how shit their week was in real estate. So that's where we developed some really good relationships that they always keep coming back, because we worked hard, we did the work, so very reliable. The product was good, and we were good to be around.
Yeah.
So
all right, let's go stage 2.
Stage 2, enter Miami. So right before, in COVID, we probably got the office, I don't know how long before COVID, but we got that, or it might have just been when COVID started, because it was a good rate, because no one could work, or it was that weird time. So the place was vacant. So the guy's like, fucking have it for this much. Like, if we can get someone in there to pay money, that's sweet. So we did that. And that's when it kind of went, okay, cool, we've got the office. You go from waking up in your bed, having to walk to like your little office nook or whatever and do it there, to, cool, I've got an office. I have to get up. I'm going to drive to work. So that's when you start getting that routine of, this is actually like a job. Like, I'm getting up, I'm driving in the car to the office, and then you're there all day. So when you're at home, you probably know from your multiple ventures that you get distracted. So if you're at home, it's like, oh, I'll just go do this, or oh, this guy wants to go to the beach. I'll just, I can duck out for an hour or two. When you have that office, it kind of separates it to, all right, this is what we're doing. So from that, I'm not sure if we started doing the photos, real estate photos, before Elijah came, maybe just before. But anyway, we were like, cool, we can add more onto our package, our average order value, if we add in photos. And because I did the video, Blake, my man, he's the photo man now. So it's basically, we need to do photos. Blake learned how to do photos. So that's when we started doing that. And that's when our packages obviously increase. You have, like, we're having the same clients pretty much. We're just tacking on photos. And that we had the relationship where it was like, we can do photos now. And then Elijah came along. He was still at uni, maybe the last year or two he was at uni. We were like, just come in. This is how little we know. It was like, you just come in, we'll find something for you to do, and then you just do it. Like, you can just come help us. Which is when you first start learning, like, the managing people thing. Because he would come in and it would be like, what do you want me to do? And I'd be like, oh, like, there's this to do that. And then he'd finish that and he's like, okay, what do you want me to do now? It's like, you have to find something for him to do. At one point he'll probably, if you get him on the pod, he'll be able to talk
we'll get
more.
We'll get him on.
One of his first jobs was he'd just have to look online, look up builders, and just cold call like 10 builders a day. We made him do. Like, this is the way we're gonna break into the builder market. We're gonna do the social media and the video and photo for builders. So that was brutal. From that didn't work. So we pivoted. I found this was in COVID, this Elijah, first 1 or 2 years with Elijah. In COVID, property market's flying. I started this. I don't even know how I come up with it now, but it's like the messenger bot system. So the auto message on ManyChat, the messenger system that auto chats to people. Have you used it?
Yeah.
I started that. So people would click the Facebook ad, the messenger bot would talk to them and get their details, and then it would auto send it to like a Google sheet. So this is right when real estate started cranking. So if agents got a house to sell, they would sell it pretty much. If they were able to sign it up and convince this person to sell their house, there was so many people looking for property that it would just sell instantly. So if you could give them someone that would wanted to sell their house, they knew that they could sell it in a week. So it was hot property. So we started this program where we'd sign up agents and we'd install the messenger bot system on their Facebook page and run their ads and give them leads, and then they'd hound the leads however they wanted and they'd sell the house. And that worked really well. And that was when Elijah pivoted to, hey, this has got legs. Why don't you just focus on doing this ad program? And that was that 1 to 2 year period, was launch this program, keep this going. We're running our own ads. We're doing the sales calls. So run our ads. We're getting the leads from our own ads. Elijah would call them, try and close them, or deal pig them, as we would like to say. And he'd sign them up and we'd onboard them. We'd do the access thing, run the ads, get them people houses to sell. And that went really, really well. That was pretty good turning point from changing your time. So me and Blake have always been in the, I've got to go to a shoot, so I'm going to put the time to drive there. I've got to be on site. I've got to film. I've got to do the editing. I've got to do the work. Like, it's not an internet, it's not online. But that ad side was the first time where it's like, holy fuck. Once I set up the bot and the ads, like, I don't even really have to look at it. And because the property market was so hot, it was just flying.
They'll build once, sell many type vibes.
Yeah. So that's when it kind of unlocked, like, holy fuck, like, you don't have to do anything. We're just like, just set it up once and this ad thing just runs.
Keeps going.
Yeah, we could have definitely done it better and had better systems and built it out more. But at that point, it was just fanging.
Just fanging.
Yeah.
How long did you guys run? They still run that a little bit?
Yeah, we scaled it back. That got so busy, we had to hire someone. So as you do, as a small business, you just hire one of your mates, which is Bailey. So it was me, Blake, Elijah, and Bailey in the Miami office, which is another good point. At that point, we're having 4 staff. So I don't know, many small businesses, it might be 1, 2, 3 people, but now we're at 4 and we don't really know what we're doing. And we've got 4 people working, which is, I don't know, when you look back, it's like, fuck, we had 4 people. Like, not a lot of businesses get to 4 people. Yeah. Still underpaying ourselves and everyone. I don't even know what Elijah was on. Probably was no tax, no super at that point. Oh, he's subcontractor, I think. He was working
lunches and dinners.
Yeah, working full-time hours, but like just as a subcontractor, which I'm pretty sure you're not allowed to do. But anyway, that helped us. That was another key learning, was systems. Because I built the system and I had to show Elijah that messenger system or how I thought it would go. And then Elijah would learn it and Elijah would implement it. But then when Bailey come on, we had that system. So Elijah had to teach Bailey that system, or the flow of call the agent, then this is how the lead gets sent to the sheet. This is what you do. So that was kind of, when you look back of how people say systems are like a key thing, we were really we were doing that. I didn't know at the point, but at that time, like I designed the system and I taught Elijah, and Elijah would show Bailey. And it was kind of like, that whole system was so dialed in that it just ran. Both of those guys could just scale it right up. We got up to like 45, 50 clients at that point.
Just doing good work, outreach and relationship. Stage 2, getting on, and we started going more systems. Managing people. So the key things. What you sort of touched on, how you had to manage people. What did you find was valuable skills in managing people? How did you find you're a manager straight away? Did you read any books, or you just sort of like, Eli, just do this? Or
I think the biggest thing, Elijah probably called it up, or pulled it up, not pulled up, but brought it up, that, and we still do it now with everything we do here, is you need to give people their own, like, he used the word, I still remember it. He said autonomy. He's like, I want autonomy. Like because he was coming in and he was have to ask me or Blake, what do you want me to do? And I'd have to tell him what to do. But he wanted something where he could come in and not just do it himself. Like he wanted to be able just to do, not have to ask anyone. He wanted his own thing to come in and just do by himself. So that's when we did the ad program. We were like, sweet, that's your thing.
Yeah, cool.
I'm not going to tell you what to do. Take this as your own business, and as much effort and energy you want to put into this, that's on you. Like you just grow this side because I'm not going to look at it. Blake's not going to look at it. You do it. So that's a key thing of we still do here where it's like, say Emily with a podcast, it's like, this is your thing. Well, after Elijah or however we set it up, that's when the first potty studio actually in Miami office, that's when the first podcast studio was built. But from that, Elijah was doing that as well. So he'd do the ads and the bit of the podcast stuff.
Mm-hmm.
When Emily come on board, it was, hey, Em, this is
M5.
M was, we had an intern for like 3 or 4 weeks, Ballandingo. There's still 3 or 4 vlogs on our Instagram that he did. But yeah, he was from like Redland Bay or Brisbane, so he was like an overdriving. Kalen was number 5. He come in the week before we moved out of Miami.
Yeah, okay.
So
That's tactical to help
a
him
lucky
move the
number
stuff.
5. Yeah, absolutely. Why do you think we got him in? Carried the fridge on his shoulder, I think.
Yeah,
No.
I can't believe you got it rid of, or you left before we moved out in this place.
Yeah.
I had to carry that fridge down instead.
Oh,
Nah, that was
try getting it
definitely
up the
Elijah.
stairs.
Oh.
Fuck. Kalen actually helped us get it up the stairs. But yeah, so that was a major part, is that autonomy thing. You have to give people the, like, not dangle the carrot, but you have to give people the license to be like, treat this as your own business. If you do well in this, this is your own thing. If you do well in this, you're going to get rewarded for it. So that's when we kind of learned that, and then we implemented that with this studio now. So it's like, this is your podcast studio. This is what we want you to do. No one's going to tell you how to do it. We'll help you, obviously. You help when people are first learning something.
Mm-hmm.
But it's like, this is your own thing. As much energy, as much effort you want to put into this, that is going to determine the success. Pretty good.
Bit of effort, bit of energy in here, I reckon.
Oh,
Look at it.
I think about
Woo!
2 meters in front of me, there was a bit of crying going on. Won't say who was crying.
What, you
but-
crying when you were trying to set it up?
Oh, yeah. Probably my fingers hurt or something from trying to put the ply up. That many splinters.
Systems, what are some key things about systems? You talked about the ad program, and that was the first time you sort of implemented that system and helped grow. Was there anything else that you're running with outside of the ad program?
No, just our photo and video stuff. So it's making sure when someone booked it in, we put it in the calendar. From the calendar, once we did the shoot, we'd put it on, I don't know how we did it, maybe a spreadsheet or probably still on paper. Like we'd write down when we finished the shoot, when you sent it away, when the invoice was sent. So it's that slow process of moving into more like systems focused of put the shoot in the calendar, we do the shoot, send it off, invoice for it. And it's just trying to get quick, like trying to see how we can improve it. Like how can we cut down this time? Is that like constantly refining the system, being like, how can we improve it? But other than that, it was just more, how can we improve it? Stage 3, I'd say, is that post 1 or 2 year with Elijah in Miami, which is when we first moved to the first Burleigh office. That's kind of the stage we're in now, which is like that rapid growth phase. So from running that ad program for 1 or 2 years, that was purely ads, like paid ads. So it was Australia wide. We had New Zealand clients, but fuck, Elijah hated them. They just didn't get it, Anyway, so it was just an ad program. And right before, because I remember sitting in Spec, which was the cafe next to our office in Miami, it's still there. We were like, Elijah brought it up one day. He's like, we need to do more like social media stuff. Like that's when the reels had slowly started coming up, like that. When it first started going, those real hacky, hormosy type content, that's when that first started popping up. And we're like, we need to do more of this. Like that's obviously the new wave that's coming. Like rather than just do ads, we need to be able to do content as well. And then that was Elijah's idea, so I'll give him props for that. He come up with the idea for doing what now the ecosystem program. It was like, we need to do the content stuff. It's like, cool, let's chuck on, like we may as well manage their social media as well. If we can shoot the content, we can manage it for them. And we've already been doing the ads. Like we know how to do the ads from this program. Let's bundle it all together. So we started at this cafe and we kind of mapped it out. Rough as of content. Like, okay, we've got to do the shoots. We're going to run their social media. We were both like, fuck, we don't want to do that. So we have to find someone to do that because we don't want to do the scheduling. And then we had the ads. So bundled it all together. That was right before we left Miami. And then when we got to Burleigh, is the stage we're in now, that's when this new program, the ecosystem, kind of kicked off. So you had to hire someone else. That's when it was like, none of us here want to do it or have the time because me and Blake are flat out doing the creative stuff. Elijah's doing the ad program pretty much and a bit of the podcast. Bailey was just doing the ad program. He had no interest in managing social media. It's like, well, got to hire someone. So it's that bite the bullet. It's like, if we want to do this program, we've got to hire someone. So I think we might have signed 1 or 2 clients who convinced people from the relationships that we had, hey, we're going to do this new program. It's going to be like cheap ads. Do you want to do it? So like, yep, we'll do it. And as soon as we got those 1, 2, 3 clients, like, boom, let's go hire someone. Another guy. So it's a team of 5 guys. Jai. Oh, Kaylin was still there actually. Yeah, so Kaylin was there. Kaylin was filming our own content. So his whole job was just come in, make cool content for our Instagram. The journey. Yeah, come make cool content for our Instagram. So he wasn't doing that side. So he had to hire someone else. Hired Jai. Jai come on. He was managing the social media side. So the same system we run now. Elijah would shoot the content, edit it. I would help edit it. So we'd split the editing. He'd do the editing. I'd do the editing. We'd give it to Jai. Jai would post it on the social medias. Bailey and Elijah would do the ads.
For them.
Yep.
Yeah, cool.
That was pretty much it. That's the start of kind of the ecosystem. That's when it hit to Burleigh. So, and then that point is when like all our content just was promoting that as you do. We had a new offer. So we're like, let's ram it down everyone's throat. So everything we spoke about, actually good tip. We productized the ecosystem. So at the core of it, it was just content, social media marketing, which is buzziest word ever, and paid ads. So there's a lot of the businesses or like people that start out like freelancer being like, I do social media marketing, and you have to call people and be like, I do social media marketing, which is just boring as. So what we did is we come up with the ecosystem, which was just social media management with the content creation and a bit of ads. And that helped us always talk about it, and everything we said, all our content, like the ecosystem program does this, in the ecosystem does this, ecosystem that. So everything we spoke about was this name, and then people were like, what the fuck is, like, what is it? And then we'd be able to go into it and kind of tell them everything. So that helped a lot because all the content we were putting out, we'd have like the shit logo that we did on it. It was like an E with a tree. It's still hanging around.
Yeah, I see it now.
Yeah,
Man.
it still gets around. But yeah, it was doing that. Every bit of content we put out, all our marketing around that was this name. So that's when it started to skyrocket because as you do, you just keep peddling it as hard as you can. Jai, I forget who we come after Jai, to be honest with you. Chloe?
Too many.
Chloe?
Yeah.
Emily, was it Chloe? Oh, you. Oh, shit. Oh, that's ironic. Anyway, M-Dog come in. But from that, that's when it kind of started taking off because Jai was helping with the ecosystem. We'd peddle the content, so shoot heaps of content, and we'd get more clients until it was like, fuck, we need more person. Enter Emily. So
was M straight podcast only, or is she?
Nah, ecosystem. She was
ecosystem.
Yeah, she was. So we got Jai into so again, the system we built out. This is how important systems are. We built the flow of the ecosystem on paper before we'd even, I think we might have got 1 or 2 clients and built it, like the whole like start and then figure it out after. But we had a rough flow of how we wanted it to work. So we had the shoot date, 2 shoots a month. From that, Elijah you do these clients editing, I'd do these clients editing. We put the folder in the Google Drive. From the Google Drive, when they're done, Jai can go in, get them, schedule out on this program. So we'd mapped out the flow of how we wanted this system or this offer, the business side of the ecosystem itself to run. And then we could teach Jai that. And then when Emily come in, Jai already knew it. Me, Elijah, Jai, we already knew it. So we could go to Emily and be like, here's the system. Like, you just transfer it straight across. And you have to do little bits and pieces here and there. But yeah, so that whole period of getting Jai in and then the ecosystem ramping up was all about keep this system locked in.
Mm-hmm.
Jai, you're going to do it. Emily, you're going to learn it. And just as many clients as we could get, you just split them as you went.
Just very much a carryover from that sort of second step, just amplified. It's still that systems, carry on the systems, what works best. Like he sort of said, write it down. Another thing I noticed was when how you got the 2 clients before you sort of went and got Jai or the new staff member. It was like, okay, we have this product, sell the product, you have it on paper, you know what it's going to do. And then once you sell it, then you can go and find someone to sort of fill that gap rather than just doing it the other way around. You get someone, then you got no one, and you're like, oh shit, I'm in a bit of a hole here, so it gets a bit tricky.
It comes back to like the finance, because this is the side that I kind of enjoy, which is the numbers and seeing how everything runs. So when you looked at like the P&L sheet, we were still probably underpaying everyone for the job we were doing. Like if you have to go hire like a good paid ads or good social media manager now, it's X amount of dollars. So we were definitely underpaying ourselves as owning the business, but sometimes you need to take that cut to fuel the growth. Like there's no point taking all the money out and then you're like, fuck, we don't have enough money to pay a new staff member. So we'd all take a little bit less or underpay ourselves, which was just normal. Like we weren't being like, let's underpay ourselves. It was kind of like, I'm happy with the level I'm at. We can use the excess money that we're making to hire someone else. So
And then make more money. And
it was more like we're probably not in a position to hire someone. So we probably don't have enough money to really get Jai as a full-time person, or don't have enough money to get him in. So this is how much he's going to cost a month. This is how many clients we need to cover it. Let's just get enough to cover Jai, and then like we can get someone. Not Jai, but someone. Like this is how much we're going to pay someone per month. Let's get that much in clients. Then we can hire someone, and it's just break even, and then back ourselves so we can get more than 2 clients, which it goes pretty good.
Going right now, got double digits now.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Well,
What has been the sort of the latest learning? So you sort of talk about those 3 stages, different little things in there, and we're sort of at that final stage now. What is one of the latest things?
It's been a bit of a journey. Sorry if this is boring.
Oh, I think it's been good. Like at least it's actionable. Like it's broken down. Like the way a reason I like this and wanted to get you on is because I think you explained each stage well. So it's like, all right, if I'm someone who is just starting a business, I'm at uni, or I don't know how many students listen to the podcast, but if I'm in that early stages of a business, it's like, all right, now I've got actionable steps. So I'm in that middle stage. I'm, got a 1 employee or 2 employees. All right, I know actionable steps on what works, because as much as you think you got imposter syndrome, the business is still going. You got how many employees
the
do you
door's
have now?
still open. Yeah.
What, 10 employees?
10 rednecks running around.
Still all right. Like it's a pretty successful business, touch wood, it keeps going and keeps growing, and I think it will, because the podcast alone's just bringing in all the big bucks for them.
Just ask him, eh?
But I think it is good actionable steps. So the latest lesson, you're at the 10 employees now, got multiple clients, you're pretty much packing your days. How's it sort of been lately to try to get to that next step? And what do you think that next step would be?
I think it's just more people management. Like the hardest thing I've ever had to do is manage people or hire people. It's the hardest thing that you can do, because I don't know, that everyone talks to you is like, fuck, I can't find anyone, I can't hire anyone, there's no one around, which is so hard, because you need good people, you need people that want to be here to grow, but it's so hard to find people. And then when you get them, like, I don't know, you have to find a way to, like, you have to be able to understand different types of people. So
different personalities.
Yeah,
different strengths, different
everyone, that's the
weaknesses.
hardest thing, because like I'm only learning for the first time as well. It's not like I'm like a 40-year-old CEO business owner, like done it before in a corporate thing. Like I'm still trying to figure it out. So it comes down to like when we hired Emily walked into an office with 4 or 5 23-year-old guys, 24-year-old guys. So it's like, I can't talk to Emily how I'm talking to Bailey. Even though he probably still did, but it was, which is what you have to learn. It's like, and then we hired another guy, and then, fuck, it's just,
sorry,
it's like, it's like, you have to learn. And the way that I'd give feedback to Bailey, or I'd give feedback to how me and Blake talk to each other, and me and Elijah talk to each other, that has to be very different to the way I talk to Emily or Kaylin, who's a very creative person. Me, Elijah, Blake never really grew up doing creative stuff. So it's kind of like, if it looks shit, I'm just going to tell you it looks shit. But for someone else who's really into the creative side, if I just come up to you and be like, that looks shit, it really like proper cuts them down to the core because they've put so much effort into that. So it's understanding that you have to talk to people in different ways and that different people are motivated by different things. Some people want the freedom or like be able to switch off after work. Elijah wanted that autonomy. Like that was his biggest thing. Like he just wanted his own thing to do. So everyone's got different things. So it's learning that and then being able to pick up on it and read it. Like when you're hiring someone, it's like, what motivates you? What type of person are you? What can I do that's going to make you enjoy coming here? So my number one fear is people come in here every day and don't want to be here, or they walk in the door and they're just like, oh fuck, like, I've got to go to fucking work today. It's like my number one fear, which is we had an intern last year when we were in number 11. In number 11, you were definitely here.
No, it's just before I started.
Really?
Yeah.
Fuck, you've only been here that long. But yeah, anyway, it got to the point where she was like, oh, like, I don't really know what I want to do. Like, I don't really like coming in. Like, it's kind of, don't know if I want to just be sitting in here all day doing this. And I was like, this is not for you, because that's kind of what you have to do. And my number one fear is that you're going to say yes to come here full time or whatever. And you're going to have to come in here every day and be like, oh, I don't really want to be here.
I was here. Someone else was thinking.
So it's being able to read that early on and be like, no. So yeah, biggest lesson is managing people, hiring people, and yeah, kind of motivating people about what they want to get out of their work.
It's interesting you sort of talk about that, because I spoke to Christy, my fiance, the other day, and we were talking about in the teaching world and how teachers go to deans and then deans go to HODs and HODs go to deputies and principals and so on and so forth. And just because you're a good teacher doesn't make you a good dean or a good head of department or a good deputy. So it's sort of being able to find the right people to step up. And like here, you've gone from, okay, I'm a videographer. Okay, now I have 3 employees, now I have 5, now I have 10. And it's sort of each time you go up, it's new skills and new roles that you have to sort of learn. And not always roles that you wanted to learn at the start of the journey, but it's just sort of part of the growth and part of the process that you just have to take on board.
Yeah, I don't think anyone really wants to get into business to manage staff. Like some people might love it, but you just have to do it. But yeah, like you said, each stage of getting a different, like slow growth, you're learning different things. So another good one was we were all 22, 23, 24. Like you're going through that stage. It's me, Blake, Elijah, maybe just before Bailey. And it's like, because we come from the same friend group, like we'd come into the office and it would be the same like carry on, the same like amplified level of like ripping into each other, just like spraying each other. And it got to the point we had to have like a big blow up meeting. We were like, we can't fucking talk to each other like this because we're in here all day together. We can't keep carrying on like we do at a party or we're at the pub. Like we can't be at that level of each other's throats. Like we're on the piss, like having fun. We can't be doing that 24/7. Like we need to kind of.
How do you, like, obviously you and Blake have been together since the womb, I think.
Oh, yeah, pretty much.
But like, how do you find, and even like Elijah, like how do you find coming into here, like what was, you had the carry on meeting or whatever it was, like what did you put in place? Was it just sort of recognition that we can't do this, or is there anything that you try to do?
It was just the awareness of like, fuck, every time we talk to each other, we're just spraying each other or we're insulting each other. And after you do that every day for weeks, months on end, it's kind of like, fuck, this is draining. Like you're just ripping into me. Like I don't think you've said anything nice to me for months. Like, so it's having the awareness and recognition of like, hey, this is probably not what we should be doing. Like I'm getting a bit over this.
Yeah, cool. Do you want to do a bit of a live workshop? Let's build a business.
Yeah. Build a business.
Let's build a business.
Yeah.
What is industry? Let's go. We'll keep it videography or marketing, just so it's sort of still something that's have a bit of knowledge in. What industry would you choose?
I don't know. Let's. What have I been looking at lately? I reckon something's caught my eye lately is like the restaurants.
Yeah,
I've seen a few little restaurant pages getting around, like nice photos of food, like the creative shoots, like the pour the sauce and it like dribbles on the pancakes and stuff like that. But yeah, I think the biggest thing that I would do is you just have to look at how you have to go to the end result. So it's like when you're starting, if you want to start this restaurant business, like creative restaurant, if it's like photo, video, social media, whatever you want to do, you have to figure out what the end goal is. So it's like, what do you actually want out of it? Is it to like have heaps of clients and charge nothing, can just be able to travel around the world. Like you could sign a restaurant in America, something like that, and you can fly over there and do all that. So what the actual goal is, and then you just work it back. What do you reckon? What's your goal, mate, with your restaurant business?
My restaurant business, well, so I'm a bit of a creative. I want to scale it actually. So I want to stay around sure. Between Gold Coast and Brisbane area. So I guess let's go from 0 to 5K a month. So I
0
guess
to
would
5K.
you go to work out how many clients you need to charge each one?
Yeah. So if you want to make 5K, it's like, all right, so what can I offer? Am I good with photos? Do I know how to make video? Because that's a big one. Like I said, you have to have a good product. You can't just peddle shit video and expect to get paid for it. Like that doesn't work. Same with photo. You can't take shit photos and expect people to pay for them. So it's what are you good at or what your skills are at. If you don't have those skills, if you want to do like your restaurant business and you want to do photo and video and social media, you have to have the skills. So it's like, can I take photo? Can I take video? Do I know how to manage your social media? And if you don't, you have to first get the skill. So you have to concentrate on becoming better at video, do the courses, do the YouTube training, film your mum or dad or brother in the kitchen, take photos of food until you're good enough that you feel like it's a respectable level. That look at the restaurant Instagram page, be like, can I take this photo? I think I'd be able to take this photo? If you can, sweet. I'd bundle it up so you figure out what you think you could charge. So the way I'd do it is probably go to a restaurant and be like, hey, can I do it for free? You need that proof of work. So you pitch your thing, your photo, video, social media for the restaurant. But can I do this for you for free? I'm just starting out. I just want to get into it. Chances are they might say yeah. Like if they don't have it good already, they're probably going to say yeah. There's someone offering something for free. So I'd do that, and then while you're working with them, build that relationship and say, hey, like, what do you reckon you'd pay for this? Would you pay $1,000 for this? If they say yep, sweet. You know that your photo, video, and social media package is worth roughly $1,000. If you're good at selling, bump it up. If you want more clients, you can pull it back a bit, and then it's just break down that 5,000 into 1,000 lots. You need five
clients,
5 restaurants.
Simple as that.
And then that's your goal. It's just get 5 restaurants, and you do whatever you can.
Similar to you guys. So you got your 5. I got your 1. We'll still start at the 1. Just do really good work. A bit of portfolio. That's one of the things about social media and Instagram now is like it's your portfolio. Like you go on there, like it's just so easy. Just go and scroll, and if you build a good base on there, and it's like, oh, look what I've done. How good's that?
Yeah.
Pay me to do the same thing.
It's just straight away.
Yeah.
So, but I guess if you're not good at all that stuff, you'd probably just stick with 1. Like you just do photos. I guess if you were first starting out, if you were just rough skills, you probably wouldn't try and do all 3.
Yeah.
But the thing is, you have to figure out what they're going to pay. They're not going to pay $1,000 a month for just photos. So that's where you have to start thinking like maybe restaurant's not the best thing. If I can't do video as well, if I can't do the social media, like doing restaurants probably not the go, because they probably can't afford to pay me anything more than $300 for the photos. So yeah, that's a big one as well. It's your market has to fit what your goal is. If you go to the mum and dad cafes and go, I want to have a $100K a month photo and video business of cafes, like
not gonna happen.
It's not going to happen because they don't have the money. So that's another big tip.
So then let's spend on that one a bit. So I guess number one thing there would be finding clients that actually have money. Real estate is known to have a bit of money. Like, did you think about that before you went to real estate? Was that one of your criteria? You're like, all right, well, I got to find, if I want to build my business, I want to grow it, I need to find someone that has money. Was that how you was that a thought process when you started?
No, not at all. That was more just straight, like I said earlier, just I've got a camera and I think I could do a better video than what you guys are uploading. So this is all stuff that you look back and what, like, eventually in the future when I want to get into that coaching and one-on-one helping younger people, it's more like I've only learned, like when you look back, that's when you can be like, fuck, we actually got quite lucky being in real estate because there's enough money in there that could keep us growing. Whereas when you first start out, you're still trying to figure out how to use a camera. Like, you're not trying to think about like the market you're going into and if it's possible, which is, I think it cuts down the learning time. So the stuff that took me and Blake 1 or 3 4 years to figure out, like, I can just tell someone like this, and it just cuts that gap straight down to be like, yeah, you're going after like a concreter or something that doesn't give a fuck about your photos or video really. Like, they know they have to do it, but they don't really care. And they're never ever going to be able to pay you a decent amount to get you where you want to go. So it's like, probably not go down that route.
Nice.
Type of setup.
Yeah.
But yeah, definitely not thinking about that. No one, I don't think anyone thinks about that when you first start.
For sure. I guess it is not thinking about it, but when you get a few years, like we spoke yesterday about some of the businesses I've done, I remember like, I'm just going to start it. And then you sort of get there, invest a bit of time and money, and I'm like, it's probably not the best vehicle to get me into where I want to go to. But anyway.
What's one thing you've learnt then from that, what you just said? Like, it's not the best vehicle. What's the...
I think...
When did you realise that, and what made you realise that?
We obviously had a pre-question, so like all last night I was thinking, like doing reflecting. I think I probably just jumped into it rather than just doing a hobby to start with. Like all my businesses, I'm like, I start and I'm like, this is it. This is my $1 million business. Like probably like starting from like 2-part. Like it was just like, even like, I didn't think of that Clutch. Clutch was just a bit of fun. It was cards were booming, so I just had a bit of fun with my mates and just sold basketball cards and whatnot. I didn't really think I had an end goal there, but like 2-part, I like broke down like, well, if I can get this amount of golfers in this city, then I'll go to Brisbane. Then I'll go I was just so far over my head before even running like a golf event.
Yeah.
And I was just like, I'm just have a habit of just diving deep and just going. I spoke the other day, it's like moving fast and breaking shit. It's just like, I'm just going to go head first into this. And then I probably look at like league leaders, and I was like, I love content, I love sport. I'm like, this is the perfect match. Yeah. And then I started doing it, and I'm like, I'm going to do this without even, I hadn't really picked up a camera or recorded anyone or like had any expertise in the area. It was more, I don't know, one of my thoughts was at the start was like, I don't know anything now, but in 6 months' time, I could learn everything if I'm willing to put the time and the effort in. And it was sort of like, got there, and I was like, well, so yes, that's why we spoke yesterday. I was like, well, I'm helping these people. I'm charging $50 a month, but then like there's not really an outcome that they're getting. So it's more just like, all right, not every idea. I even said yesterday, I stopped listening to podcasts for a bit. So I listened to a podcast. There was one on, it was dinner parties. And I was just like, for the next 3 hours or like day, I was just like planning this dinner party business in my head and like how it would work and break it down. I'm just like, I need to stop. Like, what is wrong with me? So it's, for me, it's like, especially like now, I'm just like, right now I'm doing nothing. I'm just doing the podcast just because I want to learn, I want to connect, I want to grow. And then obviously the content, like my personal branding and that sort of as far as my focus goes. So it's just being able to be aware of, it's a really cool business, really good idea, and it involves a lot of things that you like doing, but it doesn't mean that it has to be the business that takes you from here to where you want to go.
Yeah. It's a lot, like from what you just said, it seems like you get not bored, but it's like everything you start, it's like you want to do it and you want to get to the end goal in 6 months, and you're just going to sprint as like from that, the first month you do it, it's like an all out sprint. And if you don't get your end goal in 3 or 4 months, then it's like, fuck that. There's something else that's going to get me there in 6 months. So
definitely. I went to a course at the start of the year, and he put a thing on the diagram, and it was like this little curve, and it was like, you get to the bottom here, and it's like, all the things you don't see at the start. You start a business and you're super optimistic, and you're like, I can conquer anything. Yeah. Then you start here and you start researching, you're like, okay, it's a bit harder than I thought. You get to here and you're like, fuck, this is actually pretty hard. I know nothing about this whatsoever. Yeah. And then dropshipping comes along. You're like, oh, this sounds pretty cool. And then you keep going from there to there. And I'm like, that is so me. One thing I would definitely agree is like, I wouldn't change any of it. I definitely feel like each little thing has taught me so much. Like the dropshipping taught me how to find products. Scam. Find products online. Then like when I was doing research and marketing, like I know how to run Facebook ads, because I've run Facebook ads to different businesses. One thing I have enjoyed is, I think that's why I stopped, is because I like doing different things, which is like with the podcast, hopefully just keep doing this, but then rather than just keep doing like the guests of the sport and business, it was like, all right, what if I expand that a little bit to meet more of my brain? Like I can do a physio, I can do a nutritionist, I can do a business, and like still have a similar goal as in just learning from people. Because like one thing I say consistent was, I love the learning. I love the start of, I know nothing about this, and then I can just watch. If I find a course that I like, it's done within 48 hours. I'm just like getting up early. I'm just like going to bed late and I'll just watch this course because I'm just so enthralled and I love the learning. So one thing I definitely love the process is I love that stage, the early stages where I'm like, I know nothing about this, but I get to learn heaps about it.
And then you got to implement it.
Yeah, that's fun stuff. All right, before we go, we've been ripping in. What's your superpower?
What if I could have one?
No, like
invisibility.
Physical. It's your physical, like you right now. Like, what do you think your superpower is?
I reckon it's either hard work. I reckon because that's all we've ever really done. Like from the Woolies days, like that was literally just you just got to work until you're done pretty much. So took the same. That would be my superpower. I reckon just hard work. Like I don't mind getting up when I've got heaps of videos to edit or there's heaps of work to do, like I'm fine to get up at 4 o'clock and drive here and do the work and then stay till it's done. So we'll just keep working till whatever I have to do is done. Yeah, pretty much. That'd be my superpower, I reckon. And I feel like, I'll just leave it there. That could be my one.
Yeah, that's it.
I won't keep going.
You're not going to say the top 4 video editor in Australia?
Oh, well, top 3. Or 2. The only other one, I feel like I'm definitely gotten better and I feel like I can help people as well. Like I feel like, I don't know what the word is. Not leadership, but from playing footy when I was younger, I reckon playing like a halfback thing where you're always like having to tell people what to do. Like I feel like that carried over a fair bit because I feel like I can kind of communicate well and I can explain things well to people. So someone like Emily with the podcast, I feel like I've done a good job of kind of like feeling out how she learns the best and then how I can explain things. And
do you reckon she'll agree?
I don't know. Emily, do you agree? Yes. No, but that's
gone back to non-verbal.
Definitely hard work's probably the main one. I just know that I'll just grind it out. Doesn't matter what time, how long it will take.
Cool. Appreciate your time.
Thank you, my friend.
I can't wait to buy your course and I'll be the #1 guinea pig as we keep going. So if anyone's keen, it'll be coming out soon. $9.95 digital marketing.
$9.98 USD as well.
But no, honestly, appreciate your time. It's been a good chat. As I said, I have enjoyed the chats that we've had when we just spitball and we're just talking about some business ideas or we're talking about some video we saw and it's been cool, and I think we'll continue. We'll get you on in a few months when the course is up and we'll plug it again.
I'm not starting a course, by the way. Fuck that. But nah, thanks heaps. Love what you're doing with the pod. I think it's a good idea to just pick people's brain. So yeah, thanks for having me on, mate. Cool studio as well.
Like, subscribe, follow, share, do all that stuff. Peace.